Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is there nafrat ki aag in mohabbat ki dukaan? You just heard the Congress chief roar that he won't die before he dethrones Prime Minister Modi. Interestingly, this deadly dare came in after Mallikarjun Kharge fell ill while addressing a rally in Jammu's Kathua. Supported by Congress workers, he was escorted away. By then, soon, when he recovered and revived, he returned with a triumphant declaration that he lives to see the downfall of Modi. In fact, listen it.
He feigns. He revives, and then he roars.
मैं ऐसा ही छोड़ने वाला नहीं। अब मेरे को तो 83 इयर्स चल रहे, इतना जल्दी मरने वाला नहीं हूँ। जब तक मोदी को नहीं हटाएंगे, तब तक मैं जिंदा ही रहूंगा।
Many would ask, what's new? After all, dire threats against Prime Minister Modi have been most popular attack of the India alliance, while cadres have chanted Marja Modi, Hitler ki maut marega Modi, Congress workers have said Modi teri kabr khudegi. All of these, including Boti Boti kar denge, have all been in the ether. So what's the big deal about the statement made by Mallikarjun Kharge? Because this is the playbook of the opposition. But Kharge's acerbic attack is in sharp contrast to the reaction of Prime Minister Modi, who personally dialed the Congress chief and wished him a speedy recovery. Last night, taking the fight back to the Congress, Union Home Minister Amit Shah posted a tweet saying that Kharge's speech was disgraceful and distasteful. He asked, why drag Prime Minister Narendra Modi in personal matters like his own health? The Congress, however, rallied around their own chief and said their only dream was a Modi Mukt Bharat. Listen in.
It's not hatred for Narendra Modi. Who's Narendra Modi? It's love for India. Anybody who loves India would like to free India from Narendra Modi.
मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि जब लोग इस लो लेवल की बात करते हैं, हमें उसको डिग्निफाई नहीं करना चाहिए, पर मैं जो उन्होंने किया उसकी मैं स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट टर्म में आई कंडेम दैट एंड इट रिफ्लेक्ट्स द लो लेवल ऑफ पॉलिटिकल डिस्कोर्स जो खरगे जी और उनकी पार्टी इंडल्ज कर रहे हैं.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question that we're asking on the news hour tonight, nafrat ki aag in mohabbat ki dukaan? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining me this evening, Smita Prakash, editor ANI, Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, Nahid Lari Khan, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. But my first question goes to my friend Sanjay Jha, author and suspended Congress leader. And Sanjay Jha, there's so much that has been said about Prime Minister Narendra Modi that I'm not even getting into the language anymore. Because there is enough to pick up from both sides in terms of the abysmal levels that rhetoric has gone down to. But I'm talking here of the form. वो जो कहते हैं हिंदी में भाव, the emotion behind or the feelings behind the statement that was made by Mallikarjun Kharge. You're virtually ill, almost falling down, and what do you have on your lips? You have on your lips कि मोदी को हटा दूंगा तब तक जिंदा रहूंगा. Number one, Why bring in Modi at that stage? There are so many other ideals in election that you could talk about, like statehood of Jammu and Kashmir, something that the Congress has been talking about, which is part of their election manifesto, like, bringing in probably a Congress-led government in Jammu and Kashmir. He could have said, I won't die till Congress comes back to Kashmir, something like that. But he picks up, Modi ko hata dunga. How do you hatao anybody? You had an opportunity to defeat him not once but thrice, 2014, 2019, 2024. But this desperate call ke Modi ko hata dunga, where is this coming from? And is this really the root of the hate hate fire that comes in from the Mohabbat ki dukaan that Rahul Gandhi has set up?
Navika, good evening to you and to all my fellow panelists on the program today. I read Mr. Amit Shah's statement or his tweet, and honestly, I think it resulted in an uncontrollable paroxysm of laughter, because Mr. Shah should know that it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi who talked about Congress Mukt Bharat. Mr. Kharge talked about removing Narendra Modi from power as a Prime Minister of this country. A legitimate statement made by a political competitor in the middle of an election. There is nothing insulting, mortifying, or embarrassing about that statement. Mr. Modi, since he became Prime Minister, Navika, went to town, not just in India, but abroad, insulting the Congress party and saying, wipe it out from the face of this country. I think wiping out a political party that led India's freedom, including Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Nehru and Sardar Patel, etc., I think that is where the BJP, Mr. Shah including, should apologize to the people of India. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Mr. Modi in Parliament, and I remember debating it in some channel, probably on Times Now, Mr. Modi said that Mr. Kharge's speech was very entertaining. बहुत मनोरंजन लगा हम लोगों को. If this is the way a senior opposition leader's speech was being literally mocked by the Prime Minister, what has Mr. Kharge said? He's saying that the BJP is antithetical to democracy. Mr. Modi has been, in the opinion of a large section of the people of India, probably the most disastrous Prime Minister in our parliamentary history. The BJP is corrupt, communal, and very criminal-minded. I think the world knows about it. So if Mr. Kharge says, I am determined to make sure that the BJP and Mr. Modi are defeated, I'm just astonished as to why Mr. Amit Shah should be so deeply agonized and perturbed. I mean, the statements that they have made, should shock them. You know, the Supreme Court of India Chief Justice the other day made a statement that nobody should call a part of India Pakistan. Can I ask Mr. Amit Shah through your channel, Navika, when he called the people of Wayanad, when he looked at the flags in Wayanad and he said, मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि ये भारत है या पाकिस्तान है. So I think the BJP needs to look inward, take a deep, calm breath, maybe meditate a little bit in the Himalayas, because they're going to get wiped off in the J&K elections. They're going to lose in Maharashtra, where I live, for sure. And I believe Haryana is almost a done deal. So I think all these tactics are just to divert attention and hope to gain some sympathy that, Mr. Modi is being attacked at a personal level. Please don't do that to Mr. Modi, because Mr. Modi is, after all, a paragon of virtues. Well, Mr. Kharge never called anybody a 50 crore ka girlfriend. He never said New Jersey cow. I think let's give respect to Mr. Kharge here.
Oh, we should all give respect to Mr. Kharge, but giving respect to Mr. Prime Minister Modi, that clearly is not on the agenda of the Congress party. Gaurav Bhatia, please respond to Sanjay Jha.
Yeah. So first of all, people have started respecting Shri Narendra Modi ji even more now, because the moment he came to know that Mr. Kharge wasn't feeling well, he made a courtesy call. He spoke to him and wished him a very speedy recovery. And that is a quality that only a statesman can have. On the other side, whether it is Mr. Kharge, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Vadra Gandhi, they have only one thing for Shri Narendra Modi ji, and it is hate. And they feel this hate is for Narendra Modi, but Navika, the citizenry of the country, feels that from being anti-Modi, now they have become anti-India. And I will tell you why. What is the aim of Narendra Modi ji and the Bharatiya Janata Party? We have an aim and we dream about ensuring that India becomes a developed nation by 2047. We talk about India becoming the third largest economy. And what is the aim that the Congresses have set for themselves? Mr. Kharge is no good example of that. He's saying that we have to remove Modi. He forgets that in the last 62 years, it has only happened once that a Prime Minister has been elected thrice by the people of the country consecutively. That's a report card for him. You could have said something positive about the Congress, but you did not, because you have set the bar so low that anybody can crawl and you don't even want to stand up to raise the bar. Second, let us not forget the difference. You know, Narendra Modi ji is statesman-like. I'll tell you why. Bharat Ratna to Pranab Mukherjee ji. He hails from the Congress, one of the tallest leaders of the Congress party. Then even Ghulam Nabi Azad conferred Padma Vibhushan. You know, it's marking and respecting the contribution that an opposition leader has made. And the difference through these statements, I will just point out. Kharge ji in the past has called Narendra Modi ji Hitler. He's called him Saap, Zehreela Saap. And in spite of that, Narendra Modi ji is making this call to ensure that he recovers well. Sonia Gandhi, we all know the kind of language that has been used by Sonia Gandhi for Narendra Modi ji. But when Sonia Gandhi wasn't well and she was touring Varanasi, Narendra Modi ji again called her up, wished her a speedy recovery, and even offered to send the aircraft that he has to ensure that he can fly back to Delhi for proper treatment. Now Priyanka Vadra Gandhi. Priyanka Vadra Gandhi, Narendra Modi ji had said that she is like my daughter. And Priyanka Gandhi responded by saying, Narendra Modi ji बहुत ही नीच राजनीति करते हैं. Rahul Gandhi, we have seen, सड़क पे डंडे से मारेंगे नरेंद्र मोदी जी को. And still when he got up to hug, which was unparliamentary, within the parliament, Narendra Modi ji patted his back, showing that fine, even if you're not mature, you know, we know how to deal with you. Next, it is important to understand that when somebody is not well, Navika, there is a demeanor expected out of a person. You don't get up to say that we'll destroy Modi or we'll change the government because you are full of hatred. But Rahul Gandhi is the one who has probably taught Kharge ji also this kind of politics. When Manohar Parrikar, if you remember, Navika, wasn't well, you know what Rahul Gandhi did? He unannounced paid a courtesy visit to Manohar Parrikar. Manohar Parrikar met him and thought it's a goodwill gesture. But Rahul Gandhi stepped out and said Manohar Parrikar has made a statement that he was not consulted for the Rafale deal, which was later rebutted by Manohar Parrikar ji. Now, is this not cheap politics? That is exactly what Kharge ji is also doing, because they know that they are going to lose in Jammu and Kashmir elections. They are also going to lose the Haryana elections. And what better than Modi bashing, which has been rejected by the people of the country.
Any party can win or lose state elections. That's not the point here, Sanjay Jha, and that's not the point here, Nahid Lari Khan. The question here is that Lok Sabha elections took place just three and a half months ago. It wasn't possible for the opposition to remove Mr. Modi. So Mr. Modi is there, and that is really the statement that has been made by the voters of India, the people of India. Now, having to say this, कि मैं मरूंगा नहीं जब तक मोदी को नहीं हटा दूं, you can try, but why is everything so personalized? In fact, I remember an old statement made by Sushma Swaraj, I think when the 15th Lok Sabha was concluding on the final day. You know what she said in Lok Sabha? She said, मैं आप सबको in the opposition विजयी भव नहीं कह सकती because I want my party to win. So what will I say? I will say यशस्वी भव, which means आप यशस्वी भा आपका नाम बहुत हो. That is the feeling, that is the emotion that comes in democracy. Here, we are talking about removing a man, we are linking it to our own health, our own life, and that is where the objection is coming in. The objection is that we live in democracy by the Constitution, and we must honor the emotion, the theme of the Constitution, and the message of the Constitution. Nahid Lahiri, the statement by Mallikarjun Kharge, did it not flout that very theme?
Larry. Navika, it's not Lahiri, it's Larry. I'm Nahid Larry.
I'm sorry.
Navika, I totally agree to what Sanjay Jha ji said. No, it's all right. I totally agree to what Sanjay Jha ji said. But, you know, we all should understand that Kharge ji is 83 years old, and it's rather commendable that at this age he is working so hard for the upliftment of people. And usually we do hear people of this at this age say कि जब तक मैं जिंदा हूँ ये मैं बनूंगा नहीं जब तक मैं ये नहीं कर लूँ I won't die till when I don't do this. Usually elders in a house also at our homes also say this. So people of this country, millions and millions of people, their blessings are with Kharge ji. I'm sure nothing will happen to him, and there's a strong possibility that he might lead the country, and the first order that will be passed by India Alliance will be caste census. जिसकी जितनी संख्या भारी उसकी उतनी भागीदारी हर क्षेत्र में होगी. And let me tell you one thing, that it is sure that BJP will go out of power. And I heard the absurd statement of Mr. Shah, who happens to be the minister of Modi ji. His absurd statement. Usually the people of India, they have a very negative view of Mr. Shah. He is frequently using derogatory words for PDA, which forms the 94% of the population. And Kharge ji belongs to Dalit community. Their population is 23%. That is why Mr. Shah and his the other leaders of BJP are using derogatory words for him. They are insulting him. मतलब ये आप गौर करिए कि 94% population PDA and 23% Dalit, उसमें से 23% Dalit, उसको जो है इंसल्ट किया जा रहा है, उनको इंसल्ट किया जा रहा है. And who is insulting them? Those people who belong to 1 to 1.5% of the population. Those people are insulting 94% population, 23% Dalit. This is not going to continue in India anymore. You cannot insult the Dalits like this. BJP is anti-Dalit, BJP is anti-youth, BJP is anti-elders, BJP is anti-women. Kharge ji is an elder person. In India Alliance respects elderly people. That is why, see, Kharge ji, Congress has made Kharge ji the leader of opposition. They've made him the national president of their party. You see, Samajwadi Party, which is the biggest party of UP, we have made Mata Prasad Pandey ji the leader of opposition. He's an elderly person. We respect elders. India Alliance respects the youth as well. BJP always insults youth.
Great.
वो राहुल गांधी
You know,
जी हो, अखिलेश जी हो.
I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry to say, Nahid Lahiri Khan ji, I just want to tell you, लोगों को वो दिन भी याद है जब स्टेज पे मुलायम सिंह यादव जी से माइक खींचा गया था. तो रिस्पेक्ट कितनी थी और कौन कितनी दिखा रहा था वो इस देश ने देखा हुआ है. Everybody is witness to that. But Smita Prakash, you know, is this now about the insult to Kharge ji and not about the objection to what he said? Is it really about how Dalits are being disrespected? After all, the Prime Minister made a call, checked on the health of Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, but look at the statement of Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge himself. Rahul Gandhi, when he was abroad just recently, says, I don't hate Prime Minister. I have never hated. He has a certain point of view. I have a certain point of view. And I have empathy towards him. Did he forget all of these words when he said, is desh ka yuva niklega, lathi marega, dande se marega Narendra Modi ko? You know, is this hypocrisy that's coming out?
Navika ji, let me complete.
Navika, thank you. I think there are several questions in your question. One, it has got nothing to do with caste, whether what Mr. Kharge's caste is or Mr. Modi's caste or Mr. Shah's caste. This has got none of their comments have anything to do with caste. On the other hand, it was a totally unnecessary caustic remark from Mallikarjun Kharge. But then that's what elections do to politicians. They might say something different at other times, but when election comes, even seasoned politicians from whom we expect better and who should be role models, they also make these kind of statements. But then it's the national trend or maybe a global one. I think when political discourse has become so coarse and that it's bordering now on abuse and vulgarity. You know, this frequent elections means that there is no respite from this heightened decibel levels that the leaders have to make their speeches. You know, the more inflammatory the speech, the more eyeballs they grab, the more attention from the audience they get, the more media space they get. So, you know, imagine if we didn't have elections for 8 to 9 months, what would the leaders be doing? The ones who have come to power would be governing, and the ones who have lost power, they would go back to their constituents and understand why they lost, and they would strategize as to how they can come back to power. But that's not happening. What's happening is all of them splashing in this cesspool of vendetta speeches. And how better are our leaders today from those who they criticize? You know, they say they are keyboard warriors and they pay them, ye 2 rupaye ke tweet wale hain, ye 2 rupaye ke Instagram post wale hain. They sit in darkened rooms and spew hatred from their keyboards. I'm afraid those people are at least doing for that 2 rupees a tweet hatred, right? They're doing it for money. What are these people doing it for? And them who have spent decades in politics, why at this stage when you're an octogenarian do you need to come to that level? Why is there any need? Not just Mr. Kharge, everybody who is a representative, why are they so blinded with hate and so desperate for headlines and so thirsting for applause from their bosses and the audience that they will degrade themselves and shatter whatever reputation they have built for decades in public service? I think all of us just are tired of the noise, and I just don't understand why they're doing this. I think it also, Navika, one more point I want to make is that what's happened is that, you know, in the rally, people are not paying attention. Everybody is scrolling on their phone, and after some time they get up and go. So the speakers are ending up, I've attended a few rallies to see this these days, that people just don't have any more attention span. Their data is so cheap, they start looking at the phone, and after a while they just get up and walk away. So leaders are sensing that irritation in the crowd, so they tend to say things jo masala dene ke liye, so that they can have attention.
Is that right, Vivek Srivastava? Ye masala, this is a masala statement that was made by Mallikarjun Kharge?
No, absolutely not. If Smita is talking in general, it's right. If she is talking specifically about the Congress and the president of the Congress party, I mean, it's a very sad day for us because she's a senior journalist and needs to be neutral. And secondly, see, I was listening to what my friend Gaurav had to say. I don't think if you speak against the Prime Minister or criticize the policies of the ruling party, that makes you an anti-national, that makes you anti-India. We are all Indians, all parties are over here, all of us are recognized by the Election Commission, and we fight to tell the people what our policies are. Mallikarjun Kharge ji became very unwell, he almost fell down, he's 83-year-old, and he was simply trying to give a message to his cadre that he is still there, and he is going to keep on fighting for the policies of his party. And because it is Modi Sarkar and not BJP Sarkar, when we fight against the policies of the BJP and RSS, Mr. Modi's name always comes to the front, because this is what the BJP has done. So there is no hatred in it. I mean, and Congress Mukt Bharat is what the BJP says. It is the same Congress. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji was very unwell, and Sri Rajiv Gandhi sent him abroad for the treatment of his kidney problem. It was the same PV Narasimha Rao of the Congress who respected Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji and sent him to the United Nations. And today you say Congress Mukt Bharat. Congress is hatred, India Alliance is hatred. We are hating Narendra Modi. Nobody is hating anyone. It is a fight of policies. It is a fight about what is the idea of India, how India should be in the future. That's the first part. Hatred
so hara do na.
When you
hara do. What do you mean by hata do? The question is hara do. Hara to paaye nahi. Hata do kyun hai? Is that your frustration? And Gaurav Bhatia, that's where I want to bring you in. They talk about PV Narasimha Rao sending Vajpayee ji abroad. They talk about, the kind of treatment that was given to opposition leaders. The same treatment has been given this side. After all, what is the treatment given to Narasimha Rao by the Congress party itself? Biggest point here, मोहब्बत की दुकान में ये किस तरह का सामान है?
Navika.
मोहब्बत की दुकान तो नाम की है, मोहब्बत की दुकान में नफरत का सामान है नाविका जी. और मैं आपको बताऊं what happened to Narasimha Rao. Those days are gone within the Congress. Now, the more you abuse, the more you make derogatory statements against the elected Prime Minister of the country, you are promoted. And let me start by an example. The social media cell of the Congress party, Supriya Shrineth heads that cell. This is 27th of September. She puts a tweet of a picture comparing Narendra Modi ji to another person who's known for a lot of sinister things he's been doing on media. And she says, "Bilkul ek jaise hai." Now the cameraman can zoom in, and this is not the only tweet. Sometimes they compare Narendra Modi ji to a bird's drop. Sometimes they make comments which are outright derogatory. And I will substantiate my statement on anti-India for the opposition. And my friend Vivek will answer after that. Vivek ji would have to answer when army chief is called Sadak Ka Gunda. What is the official stand of the Congress party? Nothing. When Rahul Gandhi says Indian army has been beaten up by the Chinese army, has Congress reprimanded Rahul Gandhi even once? When the elected president was called Rashtrapatni by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, did we hear anybody condemn that statement, or was Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary thrown out of the party? No. When the Prime Minister is called Chaukidar Chor Hai and they lose an election because a verdict is given by the people of the country, do we hear anything from the Congress? No. And last but not the least, the Chief Justice of India himself, it was said by Rahul Gandhi that the judiciary is being controlled by one man, Narendra Modi. And that same judiciary gives relief to Rahul Gandhi. Now coming to the second part. Democracy is dead. I need to discuss this issue. It's a very important issue. Democracy is not dead in India, but Rahul Gandhi said this on foreign soil. I want to discuss the issue of MOU signed by the Congress party with the CCP, party-to-party agreement. Why is no disclosure made of the contents of that MOU even after 16 years? I want to talk about that issue. When Rahul Gandhi says reservation will be abolished in India at the right time, people here, the backward class is worried. Every citizen is worried. Has Congress issued any statement distancing itself from such an irresponsible remark or taken action against Rahul Gandhi? And last but not the least, I want to ask, the Sikhs with a lot of pride wear a turban. They sport the kala. Rahul Gandhi said in India, Sikhs can't wear a turban. What has happened after that? These are the issues. And when they talk about farmers, I can give you numbers. I can give you facts. In Haryana, all 24 crops will have MSP. They did not even implement it. Women's security. Why were they quiet about women? RG Kar medical case?
Well,
Sonia Gandhi never issued a statement.
The question, Gaurav Bhatia, clearly the question here is the whole ethos of where our politics is going. And Sanjay Jha, that is where I want to come in. I want to come in because the democratic way and the Constitution Bachao Andolan that was going on, the democratic way is to defeat parties. There are state elections. You want to defeat the BJP, the stage is open. May the best team win. The question is, hara do, but hata do? What does that bring to the table? And when somebody is unwell, to link, the removal of the Prime Minister to his health, that is the question that people are saying. Is that distasteful? Yes or no?
Navika, let me make two short points. As usual, the BJP spokesperson, my friend Gaurav, went on an anti-national tirade. Neither is Vivek, neither is, I think, my other fellow colleague person from Samajwadi Party. Nobody is anti-national because we are critical of Mr. Modi. But let me give him an example that he has probably forgotten. that Mr. Modi went to the extent of calling the former Prime Minister, the distinguished and decent Dr. Manmohan Singh, as hobnobbing with Pakistan to make a Muslim chief minister in Gujarat. And Dr. Manmohan Singh, in anguish and pain, wrote a public letter to Narendra Modi saying, kindly apologize for calling me a traitor, or as part of a fifth column trying to destabilize his own country by hobnobbing with a dangerous neighbor. And guess what happened? Mr. Arun Jaitley came and apologized in Parliament saying, forgive Mr. Modi, it was only said in the heat of an election moment. So Mr. Modi can get away by calling Dr. Manmohan Singh, probably the finest individual Indian politics has seen, in the most demeaning and disgusting manner. But when Mr. Kharge, struggling to get back on his feet, sends a determined resolution to the people, to the cadre, I think to the people of India in general, that I'm not giving up, I'm going to fight till my last breath. I think that is almost an inspirational statement. I think what Mr. Amit Shah should worry about...
Smita Prakash, I completely respect the fact that Mr. Kharge says that he's not going to give up. But not going to give up for the country, or not going to give up for power? Because he didn't say कि मैं जब तक मरूंगा नहीं इस देश के लिए खड़ा रहूंगा. He said मैं इस तब तक लड़ता रहूंगा, तब तक नहीं मरूंगा जब तक मोदी को नहीं हटा दूंगा. So is it all about power? Is the lofty ideas, are the lofty targets for the party all about just power, not the nation?
Lusting for power is not something which is wrong, especially during election mode. If they are on a battlefront, when they are fighting an election in Jammu, for him to get his, if it was said to galvanize the cadre together and to tell his cadres and his people, his listeners, that he is all out there and he's not going to go away, I can well give him that benefit of doubt to say that, okay, he wanted to say that. 2 points I want to make. One, I don't think I need a certificate from Vivek ji about my neutrality or lack of it. When I was saying that there is lack of dignity, decency and decorum when it comes to politicians these days, it was a general statement and I did not mean just Mr. Kharge. I just meant everybody when they are in an election mode, that's how they are. A politician should be able to control the language and the mannerisms across the board. Not any one political party, but one expects more from a leader of the opposition, a prime minister, a home minister, a defense minister, a foreign minister. Yes, of course one, but one can't take away from the fact that times have changed, and the Samajwadi Party spokesperson found it funny, but it is the truth that attention spans are low. That's why people are, the leaders who used to make these lengthy speeches have realized that people don't have the time to listen to you, they don't have the bandwidth to listen to you. You have to make it short, crispy, punch filled, and that's why many times they are saying things which otherwise you don't expect such seasoned politicians to say.
Nahid, respond. Navika, see, if you talk about Mr. Kharge and India Alliance, people are keen to hear Kharge ji and India Alliance leaders. A number of people gather to hear them, but it's the BJP. People don't come. They force people to come and hear them. Still people are not ready to come. They're forcing people to hear to them, but the people don't come. They don't want to listen to BJP. And what about BJP in Punjab? BJP gave the slogan "Jaan bach gayi" और सत्ता से कांग्रेस को हटाएंगे. Then too BJP became zero there. So BJP doesn't remember their own slogan. Kharge ji to bahana hai. Basically BJP has to insult PDA, 94% PDA, and especially Dalit Samaj. This is the main reason why the BJP is continuously using derogatory words for Mr. Kharge. I don't know what this has to do with caste, but if crowds are what everything depended upon, then opposition was getting a lot of crowds. They should have won the previous elections. The Lok Sabha elections, hands down, didn't quite happen. We see in many elections, crowds come for one side, yet the other side wins. But that's not determining anything anytime soon. The question tonight is just about, can we get some amount of dignity into our politics? Yes, it is a fight to the finish. Yes, it is a fight for power. But then, where do you stop? Are there red lines that should be put by politicians themselves? And is everything kosher? Is this what people want? Certainly not. But especially when Rahul Gandhi says he runs a mohabbat ki dukaan, then clearly this is not the language, this is not really the form in which people look at the saman in the mohabbat ki dukaan. That really is the question we're asking tonight. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1. On the other side, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Newshour Knockout. Tonight, we will have a no-holds-barred combat between AI,